Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start October number 2021, paper 1-1. Let's start with question number 1. Okay, let's start with question number 1. A student makes aqueous copper 2 sulfate. Okay. The student adds an excess of copper oxide, excess powder to warm sulfuric acid and restores the mixture, okay, with sulfuric acid. Which apparatus could be used to separate the aqueous copper 2 sulfate from the excess copper 2 oxide? So there is a aqueous and excess solid. So yes, very good, Rahim. We need a filter funnel and a paper to separate the solid and the aqueous solution. So C is the correct answer. Now question number 2. A student follows the rate of a reaction between marble chips, calcium carbonate, and dilute hydrochloric acid. Okay, this is the equation. Which diagram shows the apparatus that with the stopwatch is suitable for this experiment? Okay, so we are collecting a carbon dioxide gas. So this can be used because when the gas escapes from here, there is a decrease in mass over here in the weighing balance, and over here it's a measuring cylinder, so gas can be measured over time. But 3 cannot be used because in 3 there is a no way by which we can record the change in mass or record the change in volume. Yes, very good, Rahim, Khatija, and Kamar. The correct answer is 1 and 2, which is B. So C, D, and A are wrong, and B is the correct answer. Now, question number 3. A mixture of 3 liquids is separated by fractional distillation. Which statement is correct? The mixture boils at constant temperature throughout the separation. No, not at all. 1 is not correct. And if 1 is not correct, then A and B goes wrong. The temperature at which the mixture boils increasing during the separation. Yes, this is what it happens. So second is the correct statement. The liquid with the highest boiling point is collected first. No, not at all. The liquid with the highest boiling point is going to be collected at the last, right? So 3 goes wrong, and here it's 3, so C goes wrong as well. So D is our correct answer. Yes, very good, Kamar, Khatija, and Rahim. Now, question number 4. A mixture of 4 colored dyes is analyzed by chromatography. The result is shown. Okay. Which change will allow the 4 dyes to be seen? Measure the RF values of the spots carefully. If it's okay. No. Which change will allow the 4 dyes to be seen? By measuring the RF values, we cannot see the 4th dye. Right now, only 3 dyes have been shown. So A is wrong. Run the chromatogram for a longer time. No. Run the chromatogram using a different solvent. Yes, this can be an answer because there is a possibility that any one of the spot is a mixture of our 2 dyes. So by changing the solvent, we can able to get the, all 4 dyes can be seen. So locating agent, we cannot use locating agent. Locating agents are not used for dyes. It's dye, so it means it's colored. So B is also wrong. So C is the correct answer. Yeah, very good. Locating agent is not used for a dye, right? It's for the amino acids or the colorless substance, and we are using the term dye, it means it's colored. Now, question number 5. A compound X when heated, okay, with an aqueous solution of produces a gas that turns red litmus blue. Okay, so gas is basic, and most probably the gas is ammonia, because ammonia is the only gas which turns red litmus blue. So which statement is correct? So either one, a compound X. Okay, so aqueous solution is probably a base, a hydroxide, and X must contains the ammonium ion or its opposite of it. X is an acid. So second statement is completely wrong. And if second is completely wrong, then A and B goes wrong because both contains two. X is ammonium salt. Yes, third statement is correct. Y could be a potassium hydroxide. Yes, this can be correct because we said that Y is a base, right? X could be a sodium nitrate. No, not at all. So 4 goes wrong. 1 and 3 are correct. So B is the correct answer. So it's B, okay? Now, question number 6. An aqueous solution of zinc chloride is tested adding reagents. What observation is correct? Reagent added to zinc chloride, aqueous barium nitrate. No, barium chloride would form and they doesn't have a white precipitate. So A goes wrong. Aqueous ammonia forms white precipitate soluble in excess of reagent. Yes, that's what happens with when we, mix zinc chloride with aqueous ammonia. So it means aqueous sodium hydroxide forms white precipitate and no, not insoluble. They are also soluble in excess. So C goes wrong. Powdered copper forms a gray precipitate, not at all because copper does not displaces the zinc as copper is below in the reactivity series than zinc. So B is the correct answer. Now question number 7. The rate of diffusion of carbon dioxide and methane is investigated at two different temperatures, one high and one low. Which law correctly shows the gas diffuses faster and the temperature at which diffusion takes most rapidly? Okay, so carbon dioxide has a MR of 44 and methane has a MR of 16. So it means methane is the one which is going to be diffusing at the faster rate. So A and B goes wrong. And obviously at a higher temperature, the rate of diffusion would be faster. So D goes wrong as well. So C is the correct answer. Yes, very good. Now question number 8. Which statement about atoms and ions is correct? Atoms and ions of the same element must have a different number of neutrons. No, not at all. A is not correct. Isotopes of different elements must have a different number of neutrons. No, it's not necessary. There are sometimes that the isotopes of the different elements have the same number of neutrons. The charge on a positive ion is equals to neutron number minus number of neutrons. Yeah, when I subtract it from the number of neutrons, it will give me protons. And when I subtract number of electrons from protons, yes. So C can be answered. The number of protons and neutrons in an atom must be same. So no, it's not correct. So over here, when I subtract these two, I am going to get the protons. And when the electrons are subtracted from the protons, I will get the charge, positive charge on the ion. So C is the correct answer. Question number 9. The bonding in a molecule of carbon dioxide can be represented by dot and cross diagram. Which diagram is correct? Okay, so if you see, this is completely wrong. Now, C, and it's a carbon over here. So C goes wrong. Over here, the lone pairs of oxygen are missing. So D goes wrong. A is the correct answer. Yes, Khadija. Which statement about the structure or bonding of metals is correct? A metal lattice consists of a negative ions and sea of electrons, not at all. Negative, not ions, positive ions. Electrons in a metal move randomly through the lattice. Yes, this can be a correct. Metals are malleable because I know, because the layers can slide. Ions in a metal move when positive and negative. No, ions cannot move. Only electrons in metals move. Ions move in ionic compounds when they are aqueous or molten. Question number 11. The relative atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. What is the mass of 2 moles of chlorine? So it's chlorine. Cl2 is a 1 mole of chlorine and 2 times Cl2 is a 2 moles of chlorine. So it means 4 times 35.5, which makes it 71, right? So A, B, and D goes wrong, and C is the correct answer. What are not moving, Khatija? Yeah, but about which particle you are asking? For which particle you are asking? Electrons are freely moving in the lattice, remember. That's why metal conduct electricity. And ions do not move in the metal lattice. Ions neither move in a ionic lattice. Ions only move when the ionic lattice turns molten or aqueous. Okay? Yeah, electrons are always moving. Okay, yes, thank you, Aisha. Yeah, 35.5 times 4 is 142. So D is the correct answer and C is wrong. Okay, Khatija, electrons are, we always do and tell you this property that there are free moving ions in the metal, isn't it? So if there are free moving, so they are moving randomly, right, Khatija? Yes, Aisha and Ahmed Mustafa, thank you for the uh, correct answer. Yes, Khatija, is this clear to you? Now question number 12. Methane burns in oxygen. Here we have a chemical equation. 10 centimeter cube of methane is reacted with 25 centimeter cube of oxygen. What is the total mass of gas that would be measured after the reaction? Okay. Methane is reacting with 2 moles of oxygen, forming carbon dioxide and water. And see, this is the gas, this is the gas, this is the gas. Okay. So this question is a little trickier. If you see, with 1 mole of methane, how many moles of oxygen are needed? 2 moles. So it means if 24 decimeter cube of methane is reacting, then 48 decimeter cube of oxygen is required. Is this understandable to all of you? That whatever the volume of methane is there, oxygen must be double of it. Is this understandable? Okay. Now, let's do at the start, then what change is occurring, and at the end what is left. Let's see. So at the start, if you see, we have a 10 centimeter cube of methane and 25 centimeter cube of oxygen, and there is 0 moles of carbon dioxide and water. Is this understandable to all of you? Now, as we got the ratio from the balanced equation, now can anyone tell me with the 10 centimeter cube of methane, how many centimeter cube of oxygen must be needed? Or with the 10 centimeter cube of methane, how much volume of oxygen is reacted? Is going to react? It's 20 centimeter cube, right? Because the ratio is exactly 1:2. So it means that all of the 10 centimeter cube of methane is going to react. And from 25 centimeter cube, only 20 centimeter cube of oxygen is going to react. Is this understandable to all of you? So at the end, 0 centimeter cube of methane is left, 5 centimeter cube of oxygen is left. And if we look at the gas, so the ratio between methane and carbon dioxide is 1:1, isn't it? My screen got stuck. Yes, the ratio between methane and carbon dioxide is 1:1. So if 10 centimeter cube of methane is used up, then it means that 10 centimeter cube of carbon dioxide is formed. So at the end of the reaction, we have a 10 centimeter cube of carbon dioxide. So the volume of gas which is at the end of the experiment is 10 plus 5, 15. So the correct answer is 15, which is B. So A, C, and D goes wrong, and B is the correct answer. Is this understandable to all of you? Yes, Mustafa. If you see the balance equation, these are gases, and they have showing that 1 mole of oxygen is reacting with 2 moles of carbon, 1 mole of methane is reacting with 2 moles of oxygen, isn't it? Yes, Mustafa. So we know that the volume of 1 mole of methane is 24 dm cube, isn't it? Yes, Mustafa. So with 24 centimeter dm cube volume of methane, we need exactly 48 decimeter cube of oxygen, isn't it? So if the methane's volume is 10 centimeter cube, for me, this much volume of 10 centimeter cube, isn't it that only 20 centimeter cube of oxygen is needed? Right? But we have 25 centimeter cube of oxygen, which means that it is in excess. So all of the oxygen is not going to react. See, and that's what we did when 10 centimeter cube, we have written the actual amounts. Then we, with the help of ratio, if I am saying that only 10 centimeter cube is being used up, then 20 centimeter cube of oxygen is being used up. So that's why 0 centimeter cube of methane is left, because all of the methane has been used up, and 5 centimeter cube of oxygen is left because only 20 centimeter cube of oxygen is used up. Is this clear? Then we make the ratio of methane and carbon dioxide as their ratio is 1:1. So if 10 centimeter cube of methane is used up, then 10 centimeter cube of carbon dioxide is going to form. So the volume of the gas at the end is 10 centimeter cube carbon dioxide and 5 centimeter cube oxygen. They just talk about gas. Gas. So we have to add both of them because both are gases. Is this clear? Yeah, because 5 centimeter cube of oxygen is left. So the amount of gas formed and the amount of gas left both are added to get the total volume of the gas. Okay. Now question number 13. An aqueous solution is made by dissolving 3.4 gram of sodium hydroxide to make 500 centimeter cube of solution. What is the concentration? So I think it's the easiest question, because to find the concentration, we know that moles divided by volume in decimeter cube, right? So to first find the moles of 3.4 gram of sodium hydroxide. So 3.4, it's 23 plus 16 plus 1, which gives you 40. So 3.4 divided by 40. Can anyone tell me the answer, please? 0.085. So we got the mole 0.085 divided by 500 centimeter cube, which is a centimeter cube. So we have to divide it with 1000. So it is going to be 0.085 over 0.5 or over 2. So it is going to be, I think, 0.17. Can anyone calculate and confirm me? So A, B, and D goes wrong. Okay, thank you, Eliza. And C is the correct answer. Thank you, Fatija. Now, question number 14. Yes, thank you, Mustafa. Which statement about electrolysis reaction is correct? Bromine is formed at anode when molten lead bromide is electrolyzed. Yes. because it's like anion moves to the anode, and uh, it's a molten, so only bromide is the anion. Positive ions are discharged at positive electrode. No, they discharge at negative electrode. Sodium is formed at cathode when aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed. No, not aqueous. With aqueous, we got hydrogen. Sulfur dioxide is formed when no, with sulfuric acid, no sulfur dioxide is formed. So B, C, and D are wrong, and A is the correct answer. Now, question number 15. The apparatus shown is set up to plate a steel key with a copper. The key does not get coated with the copper. Which change needs to be made to plate the key? Okay. The key does not get coated with the copper. Okay. Increase the concentration of aqueous copper to sulfate? No. Increase the voltage? Okay. The thing is that the copper ions are positive. So how they are going to attract with to the positive plate? So see, reverse the electrical connections. Yeah. Reverse the electrical connection. So D is the answer. A, B, and C are not correct, and D is the correct answer. Now, question number 16. Which process is endothermic? A. Atoms bonding to form molecules. So whenever bonds are formed, we know it's exothermic. So A is wrong. Chemical reaction occurring in fuel cell. Fuel cell provides energy, so it's exo again. It's wrong. A reaction of carbon dioxide and water to produce glucose and oxygen. Yes, that occurs in the plant and needs the sunlight. So it's an endo. Yeah. The reaction of methane with oxygen combustion, which is also exo. So D goes wrong as well. Yes, C is the correct answer. Good, Alisa. Question number 17. The reaction of hydrogen with chlorine to form gaseous hydrogen chloride is exothermic. Okay, so it means they are saying hydrogen and chlorine reacts to form HCl, and this reaction is exothermic. Its delta H value is negative. Which statement is correct? The total energy of bond formation is greater than the total energy of bond breaking. Yes, because bond breaking is endo and bond formation is exo. Yes, this can be an answer. The total energy of bond breaking is endo. So they are saying endo is greater than exo over here. So if endo is greater than exo, so it is going to be endothermic, not exothermic. So C, B goes wrong. A seems correct. The temperature of the reaction mixtures fall during the reaction. If it's an exothermic, so the temperature doesn't fall, but it increases. The temperature of the reaction mixture remains unchanged. No, it's going to be increased. So A is the correct answer. Okay. Now question number 18. The equation shows the reaction for the manufacture of ammonia. Okay. It's a reversible reaction, and here we got the equation. Which change will decrease the activation energy of the catalyst of the reaction? So it's only the catalyst which can change, which can decrease the activation energy. So A is the correct answer. Now, question number 19. Which statement about oxidation and reduction are correct? Reduction involves the loss of oxygen. Yes, it is. Oxidation involves the loss of hydrogen. Yes, it is correct as well. Reduction can involve the loss of electron. No, it's not correct. So 3 is wrong, which makes B, C, and D goes wrong, and A is the correct answer. Yes, very good. Now question number 20. Aqueous ammonium nitrate decomposes when heated. Okay. In the salt, the anion is NO2 negative, right? So A and B goes wrong. The nitrogen atom in dash ion is oxidized during the reaction. Okay. So here the because it is bonded to oxygen, so its oxidation number is positive. And over here, it's bonded to hydrogen, so its oxidation number is negative. So this goes wrong. And this is correct. The nitrogen the nitrogen atom in ammonium is going to be oxidized because it loses the hydrogen, right? So the loss of hydrogen is, we know, oxidation. So C is the correct answer. Now question number 21. Element X and Y react together in a reversible reaction to form XY2. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, sorry. So 1 mole of X is mixed with 1 mole of Y, and the mixture is left to reach equilibrium until an equilibrium position is reached. Which statement about this reaction are correct? The After the equilibrium position has been reached, the reaction stops. So no, the reaction is not a stop. Reaction is always continues to happen. So statement 1 is wrong. So A goes wrong. At equilibrium, there is more than 0.5 moles of X. Okay, so C, you can do the same thing as I have did earlier to understand this. See, start, change, and end, or equilibrium. So at start, there is a 1.0 and 1.0. Let's see. So if it's an equilibrium, at equilibrium, there is more than 0.5 moles of X present. Yeah, there is a possibility because we doesn't know that how much it is going to be consumed. Yes, it can be used in any amount, but it is sure that it's equilibrium. So over here, some amount must be there of each of the reactant, right? So this can be a correct. At equilibrium, there is less than 1 mole of XY2 present. Yes, that is obvious as well because as 1 mole of X is not consumed, so how could we get a 1 mole of XY2? So if only some amount of X is, sorry, if some amount of X is consumed, then only some amount of XY2 is formed. So if it's just 1 mole is used, so obviously the amount that is X, the amount of X that is used up is going to be lesser than 1. So the amount of XY2 formed over here is also going to be the lesser than 1. So yeah, D is the correct answer because 2 and 3 both are correct. So it means A, B, and C are wrong answers and D is the correct one. Is this understandable to all of you? Okay. So for today, I'm going to keep the class till here, and now we will do the rest of the thing in tomorrow's class. Okay. So the rest of the paper we'll do in tomorrow's class. So see you everyone in the next. Take care. Allah Hafiz.